Sleepless After 60. Why you can't rest and how to gently sleep again. There's a quiet kind of pain that comes with aging. It doesn't scream. It doesn't bleed. It simply shows up at 2:00 in the morning when the whole world seems to be sleeping. Except you. You lie there in the dark, your body tired but your mind so awake it aches. Memories come, thoughts wander, sometimes worries and sometimes just silence. But a silence that is loud in its own way. You shift, sigh, you wonder, why can't I sleep like I used to? And maybe you don't say it out loud, but deep inside, you miss the feeling of waking up refreshed. You miss dreaming. You miss the soft, uninterrupted peace of a full night's rest. This isn't just about sleep. It's about healing, about feeling like you belong in your body again, like your nights are safe and your mornings worth waking up for. So if you're over 60 and sleep has become a stranger, you are not alone and you are not broken. Your body is just speaking a different language now. It's asking for something gentler. It's asking to be heard, not fixed. And tonight, we begin that conversation. We'll explore why your sleep might have changed. Not in clinical terms, but in ways your heart can understand. We'll gently uncover which foods are quietly making it harder to rest, and which ones are ready to hold your hand through the night. This isn't a list to memorize. It's a path to walk together. So make yourself comfortable. Settle in. This isn't a quick fix, but it is a soft beginning to help you feel safe to sleep again. Sleep doesn't leave us suddenly. It fades like a sunset that takes its time. And after 60, many people begin to notice that falling asleep isn't as easy, and staying asleep even harder. But it's not your fault. It's not weakness. And no, you're not just getting old. Your body is simply changing. And sleep is one of the first places where that change whispers. Lies in something called melatonin. Is the hormone your brain produces when it's time to rest. But as we age, melatonin production naturally declines. Like a candle slowly burning lower each year. It doesn't mean the flame is gone, just that it needs more care to stay lit. And then there's cortisol, the hormone of alertness. In younger years, cortisol rises with the sun and falls at night. But in older adults, that rhythm can flip. You want to be winding down. That's why you might feel tired during the day, but wide awake at midnight. Your sleep also becomes lighter with age. You cycle less into the deep, healing stages. So even if you sleep 7 hours, you might still wake up feeling like you didn't sleep at all. But sleep is not just biological, it's deeply emotional. Grief, worry, loneliness, they don't knock loudly at the door. They slip in quietly, especially at night when there are no distractions to drown them out. Many older adults carry unspoken stories. A spouse who passed, a body that doesn't work like it used to, a sense of being forgotten, or just the fear of time slipping by too fast. And when the heart is unsettled, the body listens. It holds the tension, it keeps the guard up, and sleep waits at the door, unable to enter. Add to that the medications, the late evening snacks, the habits no one warned you about, and slowly, sleep becomes a puzzle you can't solve. But here's the good news. Sleep doesn't leave forever. It just asks you to meet it differently now. Not with pills, not with pressure, but with patience, with softness, with thoughtfulness, with understanding. Your body is not ill. Your enemy is not broken. It's just older. And older things require gentler hands. So before we talk about food and what to avoid and what to embrace, let's pause here and let you breathe in this truth. You are still worthy of rest, still capable of peace, still allowed to sleep deeply, softly, and safely. And now that you've taken a breath, let's gently talk about the foods that might be making it harder to sleep. Not because their body in its own body, but because your body in its older, wiser way has become more sensitive. You see, what you eat in the evening whispers to your nervous system. Some foods comfort it, slow it down, make it feel safe. Others stir it up like waves in a still lake. Let's begin with one you might not expect. Citrus fruits, oranges, grapefruits, pineapples. They seem light and fresh, and yes, they're rich in vitamin C, but their high acidity can cause silent reflux, especially when eaten late, and that acid, rising ever so quietly, can irritate the throat, tighten the chest, and wake you without you knowing why. Not with pain, but with restlessness. Then there's dark chocolate, often thought of as a healthy treat. And yes, in small amounts it has benefits, but for sleep, it's a thief in disguise, because dark chocolate still contains caffeine and a stimulant called theobromine that keeps the heart slightly alert, just enough to disturb the rhythm of rest, especially in those whose systems are now more delicate. Another quiet disruptor, tomatoes. Yes, the same ones in your evening salad or soup. Their acidity, like citrus, can also cause reflux in aging digestion. But more than that, they stimulate certain neurotransmitters that can heighten alertness, not what your body needs at 9 p.m. And then there's cheese, especially aged cheese. It carries a substance called tyramine, which can trigger the release of norepinephrine, a brain chemical that increases alertness and delays deep sleep. Even just a few slices and delays deep slice of cheddar or a parmesan can shift your internal state from relaxed to ready. But ready for what? At midnight, we also can't forget about processed meats, like ham, sausages, or bacon bits in soup. They might seem small, but they carry hidden sodium and preservatives that stimulate thirst and disrupt fluid balance. And when your kidneys feel stressed, your sleep often pays the price. And finally, coffee and black tea, even in the afternoon. You might think it's just one cup, but after 60, caffeine takes longer to leave the system. What used to fade in 3 hours might now linger in your bloodstream for 6 or even 8. So if sleep feels distant and you've had any of these in the late afternoon or evening, your body might be trying to speak, not to shame you, not to scold, but to ask for gentler choices. Because at this stage of life, what matters is not perfection, but presence. Being present to how your body responds. Being present to what it truly needs at night. A calm belly, a quiet mind, and foods that don't stir the waves after sunset. And now that we've gently uncovered the foods to avoid, let's open the door to the foods that invite rest in, like an old friend, arriving quietly, with a warm blanket and a lullaby. And now that you've seen which foods to avoid at night, let's quietly turn toward what can help. The gentle choices, the ones your body welcomes with gratitude after a long day. You don't need many, you just need the right one. Foods that align with this slower rhythm of life. Foods that comfort, not stimulate, that invite rest, not resistance. One of the most peaceful foods you can choose is oatmeal, soft, warm, easy to digest. A small bowl, perhaps with a splash of unsweetened almond milk and a sprinkle of chia seeds, can work wonders. Oats contain natural melatonin, the sleep hormone your body now produces less of. Eating them before bed is like whispering to your brain, "It's okay to rest now." Then there's kiwi, often overlooked, but it contains serotonin, a neurotransmitter that calms the nervous system and helps regulate your sleep cycle. Just one kiwi about an hour before bed can gently guide you towards sleep, like a quiet companion walking you home. Almonds are another kind friend, rich in magnesium and tryptophan. They help relax your muscles, ease your nerves, and prepare your body for deep sleep. You don't need a lot, just 5 or 6. Lightly roasted, chew slowly with presence. Each bite a signal of care. A warm cup of milk, dairy, or plant-based like walnut or cashew milk, combined with a teaspoon of raw honey, can be calming to both body and mind. This combination raises insulin slightly, helping tryptophan enter the brain more easily, where it turns into melatonin. It's comfort in a cup, especially on nights when your thoughts feel loud. And don't forget bananas. Simple, familiar, and so often underestimated. They're rich in potassium and magnesium, both of which support muscle relaxation and a steady heart rhythm. Half a banana about an hour before sleep might reduce nighttime leg cramps or those sudden muscle jolts that keep you from drifting off. These aren't miracle foods, but they are quiet allies. If chosen with kindness and eaten slowly, they can become part of your sleep ritual, not as a cure, but as an invitation, because sleep isn't something you force. It's something you allow. Let what you eat after sunset be your softest choice of the day. Let it tell your body you've done enough. Now that you know which foods can support your sleep, the next question becomes just as important. When should you eat them? How much is enough? And how can you prepare them in a way that feels kind to both your body and your spirit? The first thing to remember is timing. After 60, digestion slows down, so anything heavy or too close to bedtime can ask your stomach to work when it really wants to rest. That's why it's best to finish your last full meal at least 2.5 hours before lying down. This gives your body time to absorb, to process, to let go. If you feel a little hungry later, don't worry. You don't need to ignore that feeling. A small, intentional snack about 60 to 90 minutes before bed can actually help you sleep better. But it must be light, calming, something your body recognizes as safe. Let's take warm milk with honey as an example. It doesn't need to be large. Just half a cup is enough. Heat it gently, not boiling and doiling. Stir in 1 small teaspoon of honey. Drink it slowly, not while scrolling or watching television, but in quiet. In your favorite chair. Let each sip become part of the transition from alertness to rest. For oatmeal, make it soft. Cook it until it's smooth and gentle on the stomach. Avoid adding sugar. Instead, mix a mashed banana or a few soaked raisins. Portion matters. A few spoonfuls served warm is better than a full bowl that might overwhelm. Digestion. Think of it as nourishment, not a meal. Something simple that says you are cared for. When it comes to fruit like kiwi or banana, the same rule applies. Half a fruit is often enough. Too much sugar, even natural, can spike too much your energy just when it should be softening. Slice it, place it on a small plate. Make it a moment, not a habit of eating quickly while standing by the kitchen sink. Turn it into a ritual. As for almonds or walnuts, always chew slowly. Let each bite break down fully. A handful, that's too much. Instead, just 4 to 6 pieces. Taken with presence, taken with peace. You see, what helps you sleep isn't just the food itself. It's how you approach it, the pace, the attention, the intention. When you eat slowly with love, your body feels safe, and safety is the doorway to sleep. Don't rush, don't count calories. If the answer is yes, then trust it. and let it be enough. Even this small act, choosing food that supports your rest, is a form of self-care, a quiet kind of love. And at this stage of life, love doesn't need to be loud. It just needs to be be consistent. So now you know a little more, not just about the foods that help or harm your sleep, but about how sleep itself has changed and how your relationship with rest must now become more tender, more forgiving, more patient. You've spent a lifetime pushing through, raising others, solving problems, carrying weight that no one else could see. In sleep was once something you earned after long days, after doing enough, after proving you were strong. But this chapter is different, asks something new from you. Not to prove, not to push, but to allow your body to soften, to allow your breath to slow, to allow your thoughts to be quiet, without needing to fix them, to allow rest, simply because you exist, and that is reason. Enough sleep is not a task, it is not an achievement, it is a return to yourself, to safety, to stillness. And if tonight sleep comes gently, let it. If it takes its time, welcome the waiting. And if it visits only for a little while, know that even short sleep, when received with peace, can be enough to begin healing. You are not broken. You are becoming, you are learning the rhythm of this slower season. And with every soft food you choose, every warm cup you hold, every deep breath before bed, you are saying, I deserve to rest. You do, you always have. So tonight, tuck yourself in, not out of habit, but out of kindness. Let your body be held by the quiet. Let your mind be kissed by stillness. And when your eyes close, know this, you are safe. You are safe enough, and you are allowed to sleep. If this time together brought you even a little bit of peace, if it made you feel seen or understood, or simply not so alone in the quiet of night, then I invite you gently to stay with us. You can click subscribe. If you'd like more moments like this, you can tap like. If this helped your heart rest a little easier, or simply share this with someone you love, someone who might also be lying awake tonight, wondering why sleep has become so far away. We're not here to grow fast or chase numbers. We're here to walk slowly, softly with you, because healing doesn't come from shouting, it comes from whispering again and again. You are not alone. Thank you for spending this moment with me, and my tonight be softer than the one before.